Africa, it is the world's kidney that the world needs today in order for it to survive.
Just like your brain or heart, kidneys keep you alive.
Africa, it is that kidney that the world have to have in order for it to survive, otherwise it will die.
The kidneys have many vital jobs,
says President William Ruto from Kenya.
We actually are a powerhouse because we have 60% of the world's renewable energy. We have 40% of the world's minerals necessary for energy transition. We have the largest tracts of land for smart agriculture. And we have the largest natural carbon sinks or nature sinks. So we are indeed the new kid in the block, the powerhouse around renewable energy. The journey of 1,000 kilometers starts with one step. You have said yourself that they weren't even willing to have this conversation a year ago. Today they are putting money. It means tomorrow their whole story will have changed because they realize that we are unrelenting. They realize that we're not going to shut up. And they realize that this is not something that they can run away from. They are squarely responsible. We must do this together. And it's just a matter of time for all of us to realize that there is no north, there is no south, there is no east, there is no west. We're all in it together. And therefore, everybody must bring their resources onto the table. We are all agreed today that there is need to look at alternative sources of revenue. That carbon pricing, carbon tax is now a firm option on the table. And we will be launching a plan with the UAE, France, and other coalition partners on a new charter for climate financing. How do the billions that oil companies are making, how do they seed 5-10% of their profits to sort out the climate menace we have? How do we tax marine transport? How do we tax air transport? How do we have targeted financial transaction tax so that we can raise additional revenue in billions that will be raised by everybody, so that it's not about the donors, it's not about the people who are contributing, it's about all of us, because this is an existential problem.
Through an interview, the man, he had to tell the world once again that if you don't take care of your kidney, if you don't look after your kidney, if you don't give what your kidney need in order for it to be more healthier, then you must know that you are killing yourself slow by slow. And he was giving this example on Africa because Africa has each and everything that this planet or this world need to have in order for it to survive, with their economy, with their climate change, with everything that this world need. It all found inside Africa, and it all belongs to Africans. So therefore, the world need to treat Africa good. Why should the African have to pay for something that they did not consume? Why should the African natural resource have to be used for free by those who want to use it without paying anything in exchange? Why do Africa continent have to continue to be victim of something that they did not even invent? Well, these are the capital questions that each and every Pan-Africans they are asking themselves today. In order for Africans to have a proper answer to all these questions, they need to have true leaders, they need to have true Pan-Africans who can come forward and address these matters to the world, who can have that courage to face the world leaders and tell them the truth right in front of their eyes. Because Africa continent can't continue to be the savior of this world to when it comes to the climate change, when they are not the one who have all these industrials that we get to see around the world, because Africa did not damage this world. Africans, they are not the one who make this planet to be having a different climate change each and every time that can affect the humanity. The West countries with their companies, they're the one who make this planet to be having a climate change each and every time because of the things that they've been using. Things that if they don't solve this problem today, then it will affect the entire world. Now, since they are counting on Africa countries in order for them to come to the rescue of this climate change. Well, President Ruto of Kenya, he had to remind them that there's nothing that's going to be for free, because Africans, they had nothing to do with this. If you guys want to have anything from Africa from now on, then we need to negotiate, and we need to have a proper negotiation. President Ruto was being interviewed in this COP28 UAE, which is taking place right now. And as you all know that there is many world leaders who are gathered over there. But in behalf of Africa, President Ruto of Kenya had given serious answers to the questions which was asked through this interview. Before we get to discuss even more further, I'm inviting you first to have a listen to what President Ruto had said in this interview about what the world is doing to Africans.
You have talked about the fossil fuel industry there and the maritime industry there. These are huge emitting industries. Are they sold on the project?
At least they are sitting on the table and we are having the conversation. That's how it starts. That's how it started with the multilateral development banks. That's how it started with the loss and damage. So people will resist for a while until they see the point. The fact that UAE, a major emitter, is actually hosting COP, and we are having a conversation about renewable energy, and they are investing in renewable energy, is a step in the right direction. Let me tell you that the whole space around carbon pricing, carbon credit, carbon market is a new field. What we insisted in the Nairobi Declaration of African Leaders is that we must have integrity around that space. We must have integrity around carbon pricing. We must have integrity about carbon markets and about carbon trading. And that is the reason why we are changing regulations. We are changing policy. We are providing incentives for investment in this new field. And what we are saying, and why I'm confident, is that slowly the World Bank has taken up this challenge. And now we're going to have a uniform carbon price for carbon trading. Once we have integrity around carbon pricing and carbon markets and carbon trading, we will use the price of carbon to raise resources for our own development and for funding development needs of countries that have these huge resources, amongst them Kenya and other African countries. Until you have the resources, and that is what we are working on, until you have adequate resources to invest in renewable energy, naturally, if you have the resources at the moment to invest in transition, the transition energies that are there, whether they are fossil fuel or gas, it makes business sense. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. For Kenya, our target is to have all renewable energy slowed down any investment in fossil fuels in Kenya. We do not have any fossil fuel resources at the moment in Kenya. All we have is the normal fuel we import from everywhere else, but we are now starting a huge e-mobility program to make sure that we change all our transport into one that uses renewable energy. E-mobility is the new trajectory for Kenya. And it is my commitment that by 2030, Kenya will be 100% green.
So, now that you have managed to watch this interview, this short interview of President of Kenya, President Ruto, tell me something. Is this man right on what he just said, or yes or no? Because sometimes we need to take this matter very serious. We are talking about Africa, natural resource and Africa minerals, which are being used out there in the world. And yet people of Africa, they are being treated as a cabbage, and no one is taking Africans serious. No one is considering Africa. No one is not even making sure that where these Africans are coming for, what can we do in order for them also to find and enjoy their natural resource that we've been stealing or using from them. Because if we don't talk about these guys, I believe these people will keep on taking advantage. So now that we're having kind of Pan-Africans, African leaders who are having that one courage to go out there in this kind of big summit out there and raise up their voice and speak in behalf of the whole entire Africa continent, all we have to do as true Pan-Africans, all we have to do as Africans, we don't have to keep quiet about this. Instead, we need to make even more noise so that what these leaders are saying out there to the Western powers and all these people who are busy damaging the world with their companies that they are busy inventing different things, chemistries that they've been using, we need at least to ring out the bell and tell them that no, we know exactly what you guys are doing and we are supporting what our leaders are talking in our behalf. President Ruto, what he said, it is something that it has been said before, long time ago. No one never take us serious. Instead, what they keep on doing, they trying to make sure that they must have a last word to talk when it comes to African affairs. So they go, they damage the planets, and then they'll come in Africa and they just come and impose us. I mean, they impose their leadership on us, telling us what to do with our own mineral and natural resource. In our previous video, I talked to you and told you on how these people have the courage to come in South Africa, asking the South Africa government to not use their coal. The fact that South Africa can't use their own coal, which means it will affect South Africa electricity. And in the meantime, you guys, you know that Europe is using South Africa coal. And they're using it, they're busy damaging the planet, but yet the owner of this coal, they don't want it. They don't want them to use it. Was it all South Africa? No. We're having many countries in Africa, and one of it is the DR Congo, where they are having a big forest. After Amazon in the world, we're having DR Congo with the equatorial forest, if I'm not mistaken. And this a forest is what is helping to bring even more fresh air, oxygens that can help people around the world at least to breathe, because the world is being destroyed already. The world is rotten already with all these chemicals that they are using through their companies, the petrol, killing the fish in the sea, or maybe the fish that get to survive in the sea, once you go and eat them, you as a human, you eat them, the next thing is to start getting sick, some anonymous sickness that you can't even be able to get healed if you have to go to the hospital. So all these things of climate change, they end up realizing that the solution to all this, it found in Africa continent, because Africa, they did not have enough companies. They did not use a lot of chemicals that destroy this planet. So since us, we already damaged this planet, we need now to go and back Africa so that they should look after their natural resource. They should look after their seas. They should look after their forest. They should look after their minerals so that it will help us to survive. Otherwise, we'll start dying. Otherwise, animals will start dying everywhere. And they do all this. There's nothing bad about it. As I always say, Africa was so good. We are willing to help when we can help. But what is African benefiting in return after all this? Because that is something that we need to consider as well. When you guys are you want to find a solution to this climate change. And here comes now Africa that you want to use their natural resource and everything. What do you do in return so that the owner of this, they can also benefit? As I said earlier on in the beginning of this video, that Africans, they are making them pay for something that they did not invade. Africans, they are being asked to assume some responsibility of something that they did not even, for a crime that they did not commit, if I have to put it in that way. So at least We need to sit down and have a conversation to understand that if you guys need the help from Africa continent, what does African have to benefit from all this? Because they are not the one who had invaded all these things. They are not the one who consume all these things. They are not the one who've been collecting the tax from all these companies in order for them to fabricate whatsoever they were busy invading so that it will go and destroy the world, so that it will go and change the climate in the world to the point that it will start affecting people's life. Africans, they are just victim out there. But now that you want to use their natural resource, then we need to negotiate. So what is Africans have to benefit from all this? Is Africans have just to be there and obey to what you guys are telling them to do? Those are the capital questions we need to ask. Because imagine they went in Congo. They are telling Congolese that you don't have to cut the tree. They are telling those villages who are there in that bush, telling them that no, you don't have to cut the tree. And when they're saying all this, these people, they are living in undeveloped country. So you are not even helping them with some foundings which will help them to develop their countries. If it happened that they usually cut this tree to go and sell it so that they will survive, and when you stop them from not cutting these trees, then you need to make sure that they must have the food on their table. You must provide something for them. You must give them the money so that they'll get busy on something else in other occupations. You understand? Instead of them going in the bush and cutting this tree and coming out to sell it so that they'll make a living. Now, with all this, ask yourself this question. Have these people done it before? No, they have not done it. Here in South Africa, we're having a problem of load shedding. When we're having the natural mineral resource that can help South Africa to light each and every house 24 hours by 24 hours. Are them even trying at least to discuss these matters in this summit, in this COP28, whereby they'll just think that, okay, no, look, if we ask these people to not sell their coal, then what about if we help them solve their problems, which is the electricity, with something else, maybe with a different strategy that you can use in order for people to have electricity, so that at least no one they will need to bend this world or maybe do things that will make this situation of climate change get even more worse. They are not doing that. They are leaving the government of South Africa. We are dealing with these things on our own, and no one is helping us. But yet, they want you not to do what you're supposed to be doing with your own natural mineral resource. It's something that we need to stand against. And that is what President Ruto of Kenya was trying to explain to them, that no, we need to sit down and have a conversation. We need to look, for an example, like oil companies. Oil companies, they are paying a lot of tax. They are one of those things that pays a lot of tax, like because there's a lot of money there. These monies, where does it go? Who use these monies? Obviously, they will tell you that no, it's the government of those countries. Okay, fine. When those countries, they are busy collecting those money, those tax monies, which come from the oil companies, why do they not think to help countries such as Brazil? Because Brazil, they are contributing in a very big percentage part of, like, to help this problem being solved. Why they are not helping Africa countries? Since they realize that no, Africa is actually that kidney that the world needs today in order for the world to survive. Why they are not sponsoring, helping Africans to develop in other ways, so that we will at least get distracted on when it comes to our natural resource and focus on something else, on how to develop our countries, so that this natural resource will help them as they want it to help them. So there have to be something that these people have to do in exchange, so that at least we can both be in the same page. We will not gonna sit here and keep quiet when these people goes out there in the world, do whatever they want to do, affecting the world economies, affecting the world climate change, and at the end of the day, they have to come and tell that, no, look, we know this is your house, but you can't eat at this time, you can't drink water in your house. Will you allow that? I don't think so, dear Africans. I don't think so. Definitely, I don't think so, because you'll end up feeling like, no, someone is taking you as a slave in your own house. So we need to stand up, Africans. We need to encourage this kind of a speech from President Ruto and many more other African leaders, like President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, who also give them hard time.
When it comes to the more developed economies living up to their commitments with regard to what they promised in Paris, we still want the $100 billion that they promise to be paid up so that we countries that are least responsible for climate damage should be able to have the funding to deal with climate change.
Yes, the man was very serious. He told them that, no, look, we need to negotiate with Africans. We don't just need to come in and pretend like, no, these things does not belong to someone and start using it. No, we need to have a proper way to negotiate with Africans so that they can understand. But we can also go far, because these people, whenever they want to commit a crime in the world, or maybe they want to invade a country, or maybe they want to attack another nations, what they usually do, they'll make sure that they'll be founding the countries that want to cooperate with them, the countries that want to work with them. We saw it in many places in the world, including Ukraine with Zelensky. Now, in Israel, with the Prime Minister of Israel. So you see that they will put all the money, they will put a lot of effort, billions and billions of money, for them to motivate another nation so that they will go and kill innocent people everywhere, whether they are being found inside the hospital or maybe a church. They just go there and they kill them. So if these people, they can have this kind of money, this kind of billions of money for them to go and founding the world to be in the conflict of war, what about Africa, that is being considered as their kidney that help this planet to survive? Dude, you know, when you're having a problem with your kidney, a doctor will tell you straight away that, no, look, we need to solve this problem right now, because your kidney play a major role in your life. If your kidney start having problem, then you must know that your days are numbered. Anything can happen. You can have a kidney failure, you can have a kidney what, or you'll be having a liver problems, your heart problems, you'll be suffering until you lose your life. A kidney. And we all know that even buying a human kidney, it's very expensive, because it's not something that you can just go out, you can sleep and wake up, or go out there and find someone giving it to you for free. Now, imagine Africa is being considered in this COP28 as the world's kidney. A world's kidney. Then they have to look after it, isn't it? They have to look after it. So my point in all this, I'm trying to make you understand that we need to stand against this. We need to make sure that if they want to use our natural resources, if they want to use our minerals, then they need to come and negotiate with us. They need to come and help Africa to develop. And we don't need, don't get me wrong, when I'm saying that they have to come and help Africa to develop, I'm not saying that they should come back and live in Africa as they did back then. No, we don't want that. We don't want to be controlled by anyone or be under the leadership of a certain people sitting somewhere at overseas. No. Actually, what I'm trying to say is that as much they have the money to go and found the war around everywhere in the world, then they need to do the same thing with Africa continent. They must come and give us money. Yes. If you say that, no, look, Africa, you guys, you are having 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want you guys to touch this part. You don't want you guys to maybe produce a lot of petrol at this kind of oceans or any river around, so that it will not affect the fish and the other animals which are found inside the water, or maybe it's not going to affect the water that people will drink, or maybe it's not going to affect the soil, so that it will have that that good manure. Well, we don't have a problem. We can negotiate on that, but with something in return. You must come and pay for that. You must come and make sure that, no, you give billions, why not even trillions of money to Africans, so that we can try to create jobs in around Africa. We can try to come up with some ideas on how to develop Africa, and we're not gonna touch all those things as you are asking us. But these things of you doing whatsoever you want to do, you know, they damaging the planet with the kind of the smoke which have different acid inside it, with kind of bombs that they get to throw somewhere where the people are supposed to be planting food to eat, and the next things, the food is being now affected, and it start affecting also our health. Well, in that case, we need at least to have a proper conversations. They need to respect Africa, because Africa will represent something bigger that them they need in the world. Yes, we might all need, but trust me, if you look according to the world reports about this climate change, Africa so far, we are not affected. We are not affected. If you are affected, maybe some places like in the south of Sudan, you know, because there's more desert, and at the site of Sahara, those areas a little bit, because obviously those areas there's no water, there's like nothing, so things are becoming a little bit tight for them. But in majority, I can say maybe 99% or 98%, if you want me to go to a little bit low, of percent, 98% of African countries, we are good. But on the other side of the world, that the one who are going through all this, they already start seeing the signs. They can see already that these things, it can really destroy us quick. So we don't have problem as Africans to negotiate, to talk about this. We don't have a problem to support the world, because we are all human after all, because we don't have any problem with anyone. We can help if we can, but we just want also something in exchange. There must not be something for free. There must not be anyone or any government out there who have to come and impose their leadership on Africans and telling them that, oh, don't cut the trees in your forest. Don't do this with your minerals. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, that's what we don't want. So that is something that we are going to stand on it, and we are going to make sure that we hit the hand on the table until they hear us. As you heard the President William Ruto confirming it again, saying that no, now at least they are considering what we've been asking them all this time. They are considering that we can go through like oil companies, we can go through people who are benefiting, people who are actually, these companies which are busy making billions of money. In the meantime, they're busy destroying the world, and they're paying this tax money to their government, and the government is not doing nothing. So whether it is their government, whether it is these companies, they need now to start seeing on how they can start founding African countries, which they found that can help or contribute to this climate change, so that everyone they can be in good health. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It was very important that we come along together as African people to get to understand what was the message behind this beautiful interview of President William Ruto from Kenya. And these are the kind of the speech or interview that we need to support as Africans if we truly love this continent, and if we really want to see it developing in a very good way. So that is the reason why I was like, okay, no, we need to talk about this, so that at least we get to give also our point of view through our analysis. So if you ever find anything beneficial in this video, please, before you leave, I'm begging you, do me a favor, make sure that you hit that like button Okay, like this video, give me your thumbs up. I will really do appreciate, so that this message can reach even to more many people out there. But if this is your first time to watch our videos, well, first of all, I just want to thank you for taking your time to watch this video, because we really do appreciate your presence here, and we are welcoming you. If you feel like you want to be hearing more often from us whenever we are live here or whenever we upload a new video, well, all you have to do is to make sure that you hit that subscribe button, so that whenever we are here, you get a notification and you'll come and join this beautiful family. But for those always watch me time to time, guys, allow me also to take this opportunity just to say thank you so much, because you guys, you are so wonderful. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your unconditional love. I saw you guys through your comment sessions, you know, like the way you guys you comment and give your point of view. I saw you guys the way you are supporting us with our channel members. We really do appreciate everything. Trust me, don't think that we take you for granted, but we really do appreciate for everything you are doing to make sure that we are here, because we are also here for you. We are here to share our message, to encourage Africans, to pass the message to the world in behalf of Africans. Because, guys, the kind of conversation we usually have in this channel, it is a kind of a conversation that you can't find it out there, especially when it comes to the Western medias. They'll distract you, they'll tell you something else, they'll tell you actually what you don't want to hear, because that is what they want you to hear. So they will always come and try to distract you, showing you what Vladimir Putin have done in Ukraine, or what they have done this and that. But the truth that you deserve to know as African child, they don't want you to know that. So everywhere you are as a black child, you need to come in here and support people like us, because we are taking that risk to at least reveal the truth that you deserve to know, and so that we can all be in the same page and be able to speak one language as one Africa continent. So we really do appreciate you for everything, and I hope this message have reached to you. If you are busy subscribing or hitting the like button, we really do appreciate that. Guys, that will be all for today. Thank you so much for everything. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind to everyone, because life is too short. Run out of trouble of your country, because we still need you here. We want to see you each and every time we're here. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.